Tonight's Seattle Seahawks recap against the Denver Broncos is made possible by Magic Spoon. Unlike the Seahawks in the preseason, Magic Spoon won't be a disaster. It's healthy and delicious cereal at a very fair cost. $5 off your first order when you go to magicspoon.com/Seahawks. It tastes like the sugary stuff you grew up with, but it's actually good for you. Now this one, I don't even know where to begin. Not good, probably the starting point for Seattle. 3 points in total. They lose 30-3. Now, to be fair for Seattle, they weren't really trying to win this one, and heck, shoot, by the fourth quarter, they were just kind of letting the clock run down because everyone knew this game was over. They sat 22 either starters or key players, so it's not a surprise that Seattle got blown out by Denver. But it does still make it at least a little bit of a disappointing showing. This was not a good effort, any way you slice it, by Seattle. It was a poor showing. It was a disappointing showing. It was not good. Now, I get it. It's very fair to be like, you know what? Does it matter that much? These are a bunch of the backups in there. That's very fair and true. It was not a good team that was out there for Seattle. If they're down 22 key players, including their top 2 quarterbacks, then guess what? It's going to be a pretty bad grouping overall for Seattle as well. There's the reality of the situation. But with that in mind, I still want you guys to grade this performance by Seattle. You can grade on a curve if you want. It's still an F with some outlier performances. But that was not a good showing at all by Seattle. So get your votes in. A, B, C, D, or F. Let's talk about the backup, the third string, I should say, quarterback situation. Alex McGough is bad. There's no way around it, and I get it. The offensive line's not good. The receiving core out there doesn't have their best players. The best receiver was what? Gage Johnson, John URSUA got hurt, more on him later on. It's not a good unit. That's fair. But 2 bad interceptions, a bad fumble as well. Yes, he can run. I don't think McGough's going to be, if you have to play McGough, you're screwed if you're Seattle. Sean Mannion, meanwhile, a little bit better. Now, he doesn't offer the running ability that McGough does. I do think the efficiency was a little bit better in terms of completed passes. It's like better. We're talking like, hey, this guy was a D, this guy was a D+. Like, they're not good players. Mannion and McGough are not options that you ever want to play. So here's my question, the one I'm posing here. Should Seattle even bother with a quarterback 3? Do you just go with 2 in Russ and Geno Smith, And at that point, if they both get hurt, well, you're boned anyway. So what do you think? Should Seattle have one? 3 for yes, 2 for no. The defense, meanwhile, was not good. The yards actually look okay. Now, in general, preseason yards are very much suppressed. It's a much lower number than you're used to in a real game. But the points allowed, that's a no-go. 30 in this one. I mean, you're not going to win games, preseason or not, giving up 30 points no matter how many yards you have. Lack of takeaways as well. I don't think that's a good thing either. Overall, I don't really believe in that defense, but it was the backups out there. It's not supposed to be a good, strong unit. So I don't want to overreact, but I got to be honest. It was a bad showing overall. Now I want you guys to be honest here. Give me an honest answer. Did you enjoy the game? If you watched the entire thing, why do you hate yourself? And also, did you have fun? I didn't have very much fun in this one. But let me know what you guys think. Y for yes, you enjoyed the game, or N for no, you did not. I did want to mention the ground game. Alex Collins was the best rusher in this one of the true running backs. It's not good. Again, backup O-line, bunch of starters. You didn't run it much because you were down so much. But 7 for 20 for Alex Collins. Rashad Penny was 5 of 8. That's not going to get the job done. That's a bit of a red flag. Alex McGough was almost your leading rusher, thanks to the fact that he was so involved on the ground in his 2 carries for 17 yards, but the ground game was not great. Minus a different running back who we'll discuss plenty in just a second. But first, today's show is made possible by Magic Spoon. $5 off magicspoon.com/Seahawks. That URL will get you $5 off. 13 grams of protein, 4 grams of net carbs, 0 sugar. Some of the cereals, a little bit higher in the protein. Right there, 14 because it's peanut butter, and it is delicious. Get $5 off, folks, your first order at magicspoon.com/Seahawks. magicspoon.com/Seahawks. That link, by the way, will have a clickable version in both the comment section and in the description. The most impressive player in a very disappointing effort for the most part was DeeJay Dallas. 3 catches, 27 yards. That's not great. He also kind of limped off, but I'm pretty sure he's fine. 73 yards on just 2 kick returns. And oh, by the way, he blocked a punt as well. All of those things are very important when it comes to making the roster and carving out a role as a core special teamer. That is what DeeJay Dallas did today. He was very, very impressive, and I thought had a fantastic showing. The block punt, that guarantees him a roster spot as far as I'm concerned. We will see just what role his role looks like, this coming season. Is he RB2, RB3 core special teamer? That remains to be seen, but I was very impressed by DeeJay Dallas in this one. But you know what? He wasn't the most impressive player. I want to give the world's biggest shout out to Nick Bellore, a fullback by trade who in part, I think because of the BURR-KIRVEN injury, more on that in a little bit, played linebacker. And he was good. 5 tackles, a tackle for loss. I know that Nick Bellore is not really going to be a true linebacker because he was against backups, whatever. That was impressive. Shoot, man, I think Nick Bellore should be a 2-way player now. Make him your fullback and make him like linebacker 5 or whatever. Heck yeah, let's ride. Shout out Nick Bellore for an awesome game. I think I mentioned the 2 big winners for me. One of the losers, or on both sides, offense, defense. It's late. I'm sorry. Who impressed you the most tonight, though? Get your votes in for me right now in the comments section. Now I do want to give some injury updates here, and these aren't very good. First up, URSUA suffered a knee injury. I don't have the exact details. I do know that Pete Carroll called this one serious. Given where URSUA probably was going to land on the depth chart anyway, he might end up on IR this year in the not-too-distant future. Remember, roster moves got to be made by Tuesday. Cut 5 more players or get 5 players off your active roster. I feel like URSUA injured is going to be one of those. I will break down those moves when they happen, whether it's Monday or Tuesday. Depends on the Seahawks timing, but it's got to be done by Tuesday. So if you want constant updates on the Seahawks, hit that big red button and subscribe today. That way you don't miss anything going on around the Seattle Seahawks. Finally, there's BURR-KIRVEN as the other major serious injury. A knee injury, looked like a hyperextension. Pete Carroll called it serious. Disappointing for BURR-KIRVEN. I thought he was in line to probably be like off-ball linebacker, maybe 4, somewhere in that range. That's a big loss for Seattle. They did not have that much depth. In fact, I wonder, just speculating here, the BURR-KIRVEN injury might give Seattle enough reason to check in with old buddy KJ Wright. One more injury, the Ryan Neal one. Pete Carroll in his press conference called this an oblique strain. Not a big deal. That's why it literally just happened as we film this. So, oblique strain for Ryan Neal. Shouldn't be that serious. Should still be one of your backup safeties this season.